You're coming up with way better shit than they did, and you haven't even seen this film. Hey everyone, it's me, Aaron.
And I'm Michelle.
And this is our post-Geekout reaction for Transformers. Who gives a crap what the rest of the title is? You all know which one it is. The fifth one. The Last Night, that's what it is.
So the last night.
I did. That's a more clever joke than anything in this movie.
Oh.
So yeah, for anybody who has not seen one of these before, the post-Geekout reaction is not a review. I do have a review coming up of this later this weekend. The post-Geekout reaction is just the open, honest discussion that we have about the thing that we just watched, and that does include full spoilers. Okay. So before we begin, I just want to address the two elephants in the room. The first one is, you guys can tell I did not like this film. And I know that a lot of you are going to be saying, well, what do you expect? It's a Transformers film. All of them have been terrible. What did you think it was going to be? Yeah, I knew it was going to be bad. But I didn't think it was going to be this bad. The second one is still the worst. Because the second one had a whole lot of gratuitous sex jokes and two of the most racist caricatures in the history of cinema. Seriously, you gotta go way back in movie history to find two characters more offensive than Mudflap and Skids from that one. You remember them, right?
Yeah.
Woo!
Woo!
Oh god, they were bad. So that one is still the worst. I have not seen the one before this one, but from what I've heard from most people, it's like, it's not good, but it's not the worst of them. So this one has to be the second worst. Out of the 4 out of these 5 films I've seen, oh my god, this one's bad. But the other elephant in the room is, I know someone is going to come in here and try and say, yeah, well, you might not have liked it, but you still gave your money to this movie. I want to make one thing very clear. A few months back, we went to go and see this film, Your Name, which was this Japanese film about two time-traveling people falling in love with each other. It was adorable. It was so sweet. It actually made me cry. It was so heart-touching. I love that film. It's one of my favorite films of the year. But we tried to see it, and we couldn't get in. Like, we tried to see it, but it had already started.
Yeah, it already started and had subtitles.
And had subtitles, and we wanted to check out the dub, because I wanted to see if the dub was any good. So I went up to the counter and said, hey, listen, I thought I was getting a ticket for this, but I actually got for that. Can I get my money back? And they're like, we can't give you your money back, but we can give you a free pass for a different screening. So I said, cool. So I used that free pass I got to see this. So no, I did not give my money to Transformers. I gave double money to Your Name. Take that! So I feel really damn good criticizing this film because I didn't give it a goddamn thing, alright? So now that that's out of the way, now that I've addressed the 2 highest comments that are going to be below this video, yeah, let's get into this piece of crap.
And once again, I've been puppy sitting.
Yeah, you were not here, you were puppy sitting, and our puppy is actually asleep on his special couch. We have 2 couches, one for the humans and one that used to be for the humans, but I didn't want to throw away because I'm a hoarder, so now it's the dog couch. He might join us, he eventually always joins us on one of these videos. But yeah, you guys, you don't care about the dog right now. You want to hear me tear into this thing. And I'm going to go ahead and start this off by saying something. This is easily the worst film I've seen this year.
Wow.
Well...
Even worse than King Arthur?
Yeah. It's worse than King Arthur, it's worse than The Mummy, which ironically, this thing starts off in medieval times with King Arthur and Merlin, and I'll admit, I was watching that going, as dumb as this actually is, this 2 minutes of this film with the Stanley Tucci drunk joke Merlin begging Transformers to come and save the day, and then the giant King Ghidorah dragon coming in and blowing up everything in London, is a more accurate King Arthur story than what we saw in the Guy Ritchie film earlier this year. But yeah, it's worse than King Arthur, it's worse than The Mummy. However, The Mummy made me enraged. I was fuming at that film.
Yes, you were.
I'm not mad at this film. It's easily the worst film I've seen this year, and I'm not mad at it. But the reason I'm not mad at it is because this is so bad, it's just fascinating. Like, I was seriously sitting there like, how is this a movie? How did this pass people? Like, how did they give this much money to to make this. And then they just said, yeah, it's fine, put it out there in theaters. How? Like, and part of it comes from the fact that this has the worst editing I have seen in maybe any movie in my life, and I'm not exaggerating. Remember last year after Suicide Squad when I said, this is some of the worst editing I've ever seen? This is slightly worse than that. Slightly worse than that. That was still bad. However, there was a whole like kerfuffle that came out of Suicide Squad. The editing was so bad that the story broke. That's like, yeah, no wonder the editing was bad. They took the complete film that had already been edited and then handed it over to people who edited the trailers and didn't know how to actually edit a full-length movie, and they just chopped it and butchered it to hell. This one got handed off to the people they wanted to be handed off to. This one, they were like, yeah, no, these are the guys who do it. And it has 6 editors. We constantly hear about how bad movies have like 4 or 5 different writers, and you can tell because like a bunch of different people with different ideas coming in here and manipulating this one script. Like, that's what The Mummy was. The Mummy had 6 writers on that thing, and you could tell. This one had 6 editors. I've never heard of that.
That's crazy.
I know. What the fuck? So someone edits it, then someone comes in and edits it even further, then someone comes in and edits it even further, then someone comes in and puts on different stuff that should not be in there, and then another person comes in and takes it right back out again. It's like, I don't know how 6 people edit a film. How? But this is the most jumbled, junk-ass editing I have ever seen in my life. It really feels like people are teleporting. The editing is so bad. There's no establishing shots unless they needed like a joke in that establishing shot. But there's so many times in which they will cut on the last frame of someone talking and then immediately start the next, not shot, but full-on scene of that person talking again at the very beginning of the next frame of them talking. And it feels like it's the same scene, but it's totally not. Like, the best example that I can come up with is that there's this one little Decepticon called Mohawk, and there's a moment in which, like, he's looking around for Megatron, and he's outside, and he goes, Megatron, where are you at? And the moment he finishes saying, where are you at, then immediately cuts to the next shot, which is him in the middle of a giant abandoned warehouse, and it immediately starts with them going, am I the only person here? What's going on? And it literally looks like he just teleports. Because it looks like it was just one sentence of, Megatron, where are you at? Am I the only person here? And it's 2 completely different scenes of him outside in the middle of a warehouse. And it's like, that, you might be saying, it's like, oh, well, you're just picking out one example. I'm picking that out because I'm not going to list every time that fucking happens in this film. It's all over the goddamn place. It's constantly happening. Or there's so many times in which it's like, it's supposed to take place over the course of days. It feels like maybe 20 minutes tops in which time is progressing, because it'll be things like Mark Wahlberg going, all right, well, we gotta be careful so that way they don't find us. Then it cuts to some government guys. I think I found them. Cuts to another government guy. We need to get troops on the ground. Cuts to troops on the ground. We're here on the ground. We're in pursuit.
The way you put it in words, it sounds like it's a comedy. Like
it would make sense if Wackety Sax was playing on.
No, it's like, gee, I hope this doesn't happen, and then it immediately does happen in the next scene, so you're expecting the wah 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 sound effect.
And then Mark Wahlberg just turns to the camera. Bum 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 bum. I would have killed for that, but that would have entailed someone having 2 seconds of not talking in this film. Oh my god, all the previous Transformer films have been 3 hours long. This one is 2 hours and 20 minutes long, but it feels like they went up to Michael Bay and said, yeah, we're not giving you 3 hours on this one, you're getting 2 hours and 20 minutes, and went, okay, fine, but I'm not cutting anything from the 3-hour script that we had, so we're just gonna do everything faster, because there is not 2 seconds in a row of someone not talking or a massive sound effect. Like, the only time in which anyone is quiet is when there are sound effects, is when there's an explosion, glass shattering, an engine revving. This is a fucking barrage of noise, and you would expect that in the fight scenes. The giant robots like going in there and punching each other and like everything. Just people sitting down and talking, it's like, hey man, I'm not doing this. Okay, well, we're gonna go out and do this. Oh my gosh, is that person over there? It's like, just, that is the speed that everyone talks in this thing. They're like, take a fucking breath. Take a fucking breath. Take a moment to think about what the fuck is happening in this scene. Holy shit. Oh my god. And things just move so quickly. Like, there's the little girl that you have seen in the trailers. I don't know if you saw this trailer. But one was there's a little girl and it's like, okay, she's going to be the kid. We're going to now have a kid who's the protagonist of this, which thank God that's the way it should have been the entire time. It's a fucking based on toys about robots that turn into cars. It should be a kid as the protagonist of this whole thing, helping out his robot buddies. And like, okay, we're going to have this little kid, they're 14 years old, and they're going to go in there and they're going to be the one. And it's this video of this little girl and she's going like, yeah, they say I fight like a girl. Yeah. I do fight like a girl. I go in there, I'm strong, and I'm all this, and like this, and it's like supposed to be this big empowering thing. And it's like, so many people got angry about that. It's like, why are you putting women in Transformer films? Like, shut the fuck up. That's not the problem. The problem is you can smell from a mile away this is bullshit. You can smell from a mile away. It's like, yeah, man, it's gonna be in a Michael Bay film. None of this shit's gonna happen. You know it ain't gonna happen. It is an ad campaign. Like, don't get me wrong. You wanna make some spunky tomboy the star of a Transformers franchise? Cool. I am all for that. But I could tell watching that trailer, you ain't gonna do shit. I could tell watching that trailer, I was like, nah, Mark Wahlberg is still in this thing. I know what's gonna happen. And also, it's a Michael Bay film. I do not want a 14-year-old girl to be the star of that film because I know what that motherfucker is up to, okay? Listen, I do not want to ever, like, accuse anyone of something this absolutely horrible unless you have, like, 100% evidence of it, because it's that kind of thing that's like, this is one of the worst things that someone can ever be accused of. However, there's a guy who has an insane obsession with Megan Fox, someone who he's been hanging out with since she was 17. And in the last Transformers films, I might not have seen it, but I'm aware this scene exists, in which there is like a 17-year-old girl who is dating a 20-year-old, and they actually say, yeah, that's pedophilia, you can't do that. And they literally stop the entire film for him to go, it's the Romeo and Juliet law. It says it's totally legal for me to date someone who's underage because we were dating back in high school. And they stop, and he pulls out the Romeo and Juliet law, which he has in his wallet, and shows it on screen, and the image just pauses so the audience has time to read a law that allows you to date underage girls.
That is creepy, and I've never heard of that law before.
It's horrifying that they actually do this. And I was like, okay, dude, like I said, this is one of the worst things you can accuse someone of being. But if you're going to stop the entire film to justify why you could do it, that doesn't look good on you, man. So the moment that I heard that there was going to be a 14-year-old girl as the star of this movie, I was like, don't put her in a Michael Bay film. I don't want to think about what, I don't know. I don't want to think about this. So I went into this thing thinking, I know Mark Wahlberg is still the star of this, and I don't want to see what he's going to do. Luckily, she is filmed like a kid. He doesn't do anything weird or creepy with her. Thank God. Hooray for you, Michael Bay. I know, that was a big woo. That was a big woo, thank God. However, there comes a moment in this film, the film starts with her, she is living without her parents. They're dead. She is living, being protected by this big Transformer who is killed instantly. Which this is an example of like how spastic this film is. These like 4 kids sneak into like the remains of Chicago, which was destroyed in the 3rd film, and she's there living homeless with this Transformer there, and she's trying to get them out of there because there's these giant like Ed 209 from RoboCop robots going around like, oh, you are in violation of this area, and they're trying to kill these little kids, and then she comes in, saves the day by throwing a Gatorade ball between 2 of these robots, and then they just shoot each other. I was like, they're dumber than the Ed 209, and that motherfucker was defeated by stairs, okay? So I'm like, all right.
Stairs and Gatorade, robots' biggest weaknesses.
So automatically I'm like, well, this is dumb. But then she takes him back to where the big Transformer's protecting her. And then you've got the government guys there. Is like, we have movement of a Transformer in this area. And he's like, don't fire. There's kids in the area. I will not let you fire until they're a kid and these kids are safe. And then another person in that same room says, we have a clear shot. And then he goes, take the shot. The guy, it literally is that fast. It is literally like, you see the map he's looking at. The kids haven't moved out of the way. Kids are exactly there. It's like, kids here, giant Transformer here. I will not let you take this shot until those kids are safe. There are kids in the area. So we have a shot. Take the shot. That is what it is. That is the kind of editing that is in this fucking thing. So they kill that robot. Then Mark Wahlberg comes in to try and rescue another Transformer. That Transformer's already dead and gives Mark Wahlberg like this emblem that is like a symbol of the last night. That's what it is. It's like, yeah. And it's like, okay, well, Mark Wahlberg takes it. And then he escapes after getting these kids out of the Chicago area. And then he gets there back to his junkyard, and he's just talking to all the other Transformers like, hey, no, don't do this. Don't go messing with that thing over there. And he's got like some assistant guy who I kind of dug, because this assistant guy is just like, he has no idea what's going on. He has no idea why he's there. He realizes he's breaking the law by working with this guy because the government is now out to destroy all the Transformers, whether they're Autobots or Decepticons. So he's like, well, I'm breaking the law. But he's like, hey man, you hired me from the penny saver of the local newspaper. This was not anything that was promised. And it was like, yeah, well, you know, hey man, you're getting experience, like basically like that. And he's like, hey man, I feel like I should know more. I am the regional district manager of your company. And they're like arguing back and forth about what that could possibly mean. And then he's like, I will take that title away from you. And it's like 5 seconds after he let him know that title means nothing. And then he starts freaking out, no, don't take that title away from me. It's all I have. And it's like, I kind of like this guy. He's probably gonna die. He didn't, although there is a scene in which I was like, oh my god, they just killed him. But I'm bringing this up because, as I said, that little girl who is all over the trailers and is like, oh man, she's gonna be this big important thing. She then comes running up to the junkyard, which is like 50 to 100 to 200, who knows how many miles away from Chicago. She comes running into the junkyard and is like, hey, mister, and like, there's no explanation of how she got there. None.
She teleported, just like everybody else in this movie.
You see her little, like, scooter transformer. She's got a little scooter transformer who's BB-8. It's 100% BB-8. You see him hiding underneath one of the Transformers. So it's like, okay, that's how he got here, but where the fuck was she? Was she inside one of the other Transformers and wouldn't the other Transformer know that a human being was inside of it? Like, that's just, how did she get here? It's never explained. But she just comes running up, hey mister, hey mister, and goes, oh no kid, come on, go back where you came from, I don't have time for this. And it's like, he's acting like he's known she was there the entire time. And it's like, you should really be shocked that this kid just followed you 100 fucking miles away from Chicago out of nowhere. But it's like, he just almost instantly is like, all right, you know what? You know something about fixing up Transformers. You're going to come with me. We're going to fix up a Transformer together. Come on. We're going to be like family like this. And like, because like he can't talk to his daughter anymore. She's off at college and he's wanted by the law, so he can't communicate with her anymore. So, and she lost her parents. So they try and make the thing of like, oh, they're bonding. They're becoming a family. But I mean, it's literally over like, all right, you know what? We're going to fix up a Transformer together. Come on. You'll meet with family like this. Like, that's it. And that's all that happens. And then, like, right after that, he gets picked up by this, like, English butler robot. He's like, sure, we must go off to London. And then him and Bumblebee go off to London, but the jet is way too small to fit a car in there. So I'm like, how the fuck did Bumblebee get on that? But, like, when they leave, and the moment they touch down London, it's just him and Bumblebee. And I'm looking at it, it's like, well, that's interesting. They just left this girl, who the trailers kind of implied was going to be the star of this whole thing. I wonder how they're going to fit her story back into this.
She doesn't.
2 hours later. That's when she pops back up. Just like Optimus Prime. Let's get into that. Not only do they tease that little girl, and then they're like, nah, fuck her, she's out. She's gone. She's gone from this whole thing. Optimus Prime, that whole thing in the trailers of, he has been corrupted and he's now turned evil. He's Negative Prime. He's evil Optimus Prime. He is bringing Cybertron to Earth to destroy Earth. He pops up at the beginning of this film. And again, I have not seen the other film, but I've heard enough people describe to me beat for beat what happened. So I know at the end of it, he's like, I must go to Cybertron. And then he just flies into space.
I must go, my planet needs me.
Literally what happened. But he just flies off into space. And I know that happens because like that was one of everybody's biggest complaints. He's like, you can just fly this entire time into space? This film opens up with him in space all the life from his body drained, covered in ice, just
floating.
I'm like, Joe, you didn't plan this at all. I'm sorry. Did you, like, realize you didn't have enough gas before leaving to make it to Cybertron?
Optimus Prime dies on his way to his planet.
Yeah, it literally is that episode of The Simpsons. Like, seriously, when it opened and it showed him just floating lifelessly in space, covered in ice, I was like, well, he didn't think this through at all. This is dumb. Wow. But then he, like, crashes onto Cybertron and he's fine, and then he meets, like, the god of the Transformers, and it's like this small, tiny, humanoid-looking robot. He's like, I will give you life. You have betrayed Cybertron. The only way you can make it up is to redeem and rebuild Cybertron. Do you want to redeem Cybertron? You must destroy the Earth. And you see his eyes start to turn purple. He's like, yes, my master, or whatever the fuck he says. That is the last you fucking see of him for 2 hours. And then he shows up at the end after they found Merlin's staff, which is the thing that the villains need in order to drain the life force out of Earth into Cybertron to rebuild Cybertron.
What about Excalibur?
What about it?
Isn't Excalibur like one of the biggest key elements in the King Arthur legend? Does the Transformers touch upon that at all whatsoever?
Actually, a smidge, maybe, kind of, sort of.
I'm kind of disappointed. I kind of wanted Excalibur to be a main Transformer, yeah.
You're coming up with way better shit than they did, and you haven't even seen this film. I feel like that should be the opening, just me telling you that. But no, okay, so they have to find the staff. They find the staff in, like, this giant Autobot ship where, like, the knights have been just sitting this whole time. Like, the giant robot knights have just been sitting. They find it. This woman who is, by the way, I mentioned Michael Bay's creepy obsession with Megan Fox. This woman looks so much like Megan Fox. Ugh. I thought it was like, oh my god, when did Megan Fox learn to have a British accent? When did that happen? It is so shockingly close. It's creepy. But she grabs the staff, she activates it, she gets, like, all the powers, and then the ship rises up and starts going over to Stonehenge, because Stonehenge is where, like, the whole portal to, like, unlock Earth's power and send up Cybertron is. As it's floating up, then all of a sudden, that's when Optimus finally reappears, and he pops in and is like, the staff must be mine. And then him and Bumblebee just fight a bit. It's pretty much the exact fight that you saw in that trailer. And then he's about to stab Bumblebee. And then Bumblebee, the guy who can't speak throughout all these films, and he just speaks by having, like, different tiny clips from movies or songs play what he wants to say. He's about to stab him, and then he goes, no, Optimus, I am your friend. I would give my life for you. And then he just pauses, and the purple energy leaves his eyes, and goes, Bumblebee, I have not heard your voice in a lifetime. And I was like, you heard his voice at the end of the first movie. Remember at the end of the first movie in which he spoke, and you're like, your voice box, it's been fixed. And then you had him just for some reason go back to
Yeah, I was wondering, like, what happened? Like, why?
They never explained that shit ever. In the second one, there's a brief moment in which Sam Witwicky says, yeah, Bumblebee is not feeling all that well, he's kind of sick, and that's the only explanation you get for why he can't talk anymore?
It's like Sam Witwicky's like, yeah, I didn't like Bumblebee, so I just ripped his voice box out.
Oh, dude, it's dumber than that, because in this one, it starts off with a Steve Buscemi robot who is a giant, like, junker robot. Like, he's a giant garbage truck, but he's, like, covered in crap, like, on top of it, like, just different random objects. And when he transforms, he's like an old hobo with a giant knapsack on his back. And he's like a trader of some sort, and he's like, yeah, I found the voice box, it'll work fine for Bumblebee, he'll finally be able to talk again. So they're trying to reinstall his voice, and then it's just the Siri voice, and goes, oh no, this is not my voice. That punk-ass bitch, why did he screw me like this? And he's like, yeah, and then he rips the voice box out and destroys it, and then it goes back to talking with just the, like, audio clips. And then at the end, when he just comes in and goes, no, Optimus, you were my friend. I was like, you don't have a voice box in. You literally, this makes no sense at all based on the rules that you have established previously in this exact same film. I'm not even going back to the first film in which he could talk for some reason and now he can't. I'm going back to the beginning of this movie. You've broken the rules of it. It's like, And it's like, as soon as he does that, Optimus just like, Bumblebee, my friend, what have I done? I was like, pretty much nothing. You didn't do anything. You literally did nothing as an evil Autobot. You came in here. He did kill 2 of the knights, but they were like zombie knights. They were kind of like already dead to begin with. So I was like, all right, well, that doesn't really freaking count. He stole the staff from the Merlin girl and then stored it in his chest. But then he doesn't even do anything with it before he turns back to good. Like, he's literally evil for like 5 minutes. And then Megatron comes in and steals the staff away from him. And it's like, you literally were... You being evil affected nothing in this. It changed nothing about this. I was like, wow, that is some cheap shit. Whew. I would apologize for being all over the fucking place on this, but I mean, this movie is all over the place.
It sure seems like it. So it's like, so they traveled back in time through the...
No, they don't travel back in time. This is what happens. I haven't even explained the actual plot of this, because I just started complaining about shit and just ramble on. Basically, the plot of this is that it starts out with Mark Wahlberg finding that robot in Chicago, and it gives him like this little symbol thing, and the symbol thing becomes like the Venom symbiote because it like gets on him and starts oozing around his body. It's weird. Here's the weird thing: this film is, in so many ways, it's worse than the previous Transformer films. But there's 2 things it does which are better than the previous Transformer films. First off, Michael Bay, despite the fact that he picks a woman that looks exactly like Megan Fox, he's not nearly as pervy in this one. So I'll give him that. And I realized he wasn't being nearly as pervy because there's a moment in which the symbiote thing is crawling around him and he's like ripping up his shirt to look at, and he's just like, it's nothing but like a 2-minute sequence of him just showing off his abs, and I was like, this is the one Michael Bay film where there is more like man cheesecake than lady cheesecake. It's like, alright, you know what? Michael Bay, you're still kind of pervy. Not as bad in this one. You restrained yourself a tiny bit, I will give you that. But also the other way that it's better is that I hate the other Transformer films because they're 3 hours long, and 2 of those hours, nothing fucking happens at all. They're the most boring fucking movies because nothing happens until like the very end. This one shit is happening nonstop. As I said, things are happening left and right, over and over and over and over and over again. But okay, so what happens is he finds the Venom symbiote thing, it's crawling all over him. He goes back to the junkyard, and that's when all of a sudden, like, the Decepticons find out he's got this thing and it will lead to a staff that could cause the end of the world.
Oh, so that's Merlin's staff?
That's Merlin's staff. Yes. Good job, you're following.
Yay! I'm learning.
In one of these films, you have to applaud being able to do that. And the weird thing is that Steve Buscemi Junker robot, he sees that little like thing on him and he goes, listen buddy, there's 7 signs of the apocalypse. That thing showing up is one of them. I'm getting out here as fast as I can. And I was like, okay, so where are the other 6 going to be? That never comes, that's never addressed. That never comes back up. Maybe it's in a future one. Who knows?
Maybe if they can keep their story straight.
This is the only one of these films so far that like actually ends with a like to be continued. This is a cliffhanger. So I guess they're trying that. But as I was saying, okay, so he finds that the girl comes up. They're now a family bonding. But the Decepticons find out that this will lead to like Merlin's staff, and the United States government, which now has formed a special Transformers hunting squad, because all Transformers, whether it be Autobots or Decepticons, they're all wanted. Mm-hmm. However, they then find out about this staff thing, and they find out that it's like, oh, there are all these Autobots there living on this junkyard, but we need to find out where they are. So, in order to get help, I swear to God, I am not making this up. They then go to Megatron and go, we will broker a deal with you to get you and your special team of criminal Decepticons to work for us, the United States government, to go out on this mission to... Have you figured this out yet?
Suicide Squad.
I didn't even have to explain further. And here's the thing. This is not me reading into this shit. There literally comes the moment where he's like, all the Decepticons are in prison. All of them except for Megatron. And he's like, I will need my team. And he goes, all right, who do you want? And then he goes, Mohawk. And then it shows them lifting this motorcycle one with a Mohawk out of like a jail cell. I was like, yeah, boy, yeah, I'm gonna get in there and mess everything up. And then in big letters, Mohawk. And then he goes, Next up, Dreadnought, and then it goes Dreadnought, and shows like the backstory of him robbing a bank. It's like Dreadnought wanted for robbing a bank, wanted for manslaughter, double manslaughter, triple manslaughter, 12 people killed. He didn't even take the money. And it's like it shows that. It's like it's literally showing how all these people got caught, exactly like in Suicide Squad, with big ass text letters rummaging around, showing their names. Like,
have the people who've been editing Suicide Squad also edited this movie?
No, but the producers looked at Suicide Squad and said, that was popular, let's do that. Because I had to stop at that moment and do the math, and I was like, Suicide Squad came out 1 year ago from now. Would they still have been writing this and shooting it at that time? Yes. They would have been. It lines up fucking perfectly. This was totally just ripping Suicide Squad off. And gets a whole team of them together. And it's a whole team of like, yeah, they're the best of the bad. They're a bunch of bad guys. They're all killed instantly by the Autobots. Immediately, they are murdered. It's like, the only one who isn't immediately killed is one that's voiced by John DiMaggio. I was like, why is that not the one that's immediately killed? Because one of the Autobots is voiced by John DiMaggio. There's 2 robots in here voiced by the same dude. And don't get me wrong, John DiMaggio, insanely talented voice actor. Why the fuck are you having him do 2 people in your big budget film?
Did both those robots fight each other?
No.
Oh, that'd be so funny.
It would have. It would have been way better than what we got.
And they were talking to each other at the same time while fighting.
And at no point do either of them say, you're getting John DiMaggio to voice a robot with an attitude. And this film is ripping off and parodying and quoting everything it can think of so it doesn't have an original thought in its head. At no point do either of them say, bite my shiny metal ass. You're not even doing correct tributes to shit. You're not even being smart about this. It's like, oh my god. Like I said, they're all immediately killed. And then the government sends in drones to hunt down Mark Wahlberg and his assistant buddy and the little girl. And then this C-3PO English butler dude shows up. He just shows up and he's like, sir, I've been commanded to come and get you. He grabs him. And then him and Bumblebee board this plane, go off to London. Goodbye to everybody that was back in America. That just completely dropped. They go back to London. I'm working myself out on this one. Okay, they go back to London where Anthony Hopkins is there. Anthony Hopkins is playing like this demented old guy who has like he just doesn't give a shit anymore. Like, I can't tell if he's got like dementia or Alzheimer's or if he's just a guy like, I'm too old to be polite and to like let you have time to speak. Like, because he is just constantly talking, but he sounds crazy. And man, I gotta say, he's totally just here for the paycheck. He doesn't give a crap. He's totally just here for the paycheck. However, he's kind of having fun with it. And he's like the one thing I kind of liked about this film. Like, the one thing I kind of like about this film is that he is just goofy and crazy as hell. And it's not like I was really enjoying it, but I was like, what's he gonna say next? Like, what weird, crazy thing is he going to do
like,
next?
That's the thing about, like, bad movies. If there is an actor who's actually, like, putting effort into it, it makes it worth it.
Kind of, yeah.
And they are sometimes the only thing good about that movie.
I don't even want to say he's putting effort into it, because he's not doing, like, a great job or anything, but, I mean, he's supposed to be a goofy, crazy guy. I've never seen Anthony Hopkins do that, and it was kind of interesting. But speaking of the actors, in a very weird way, the worst actor in this whole thing is that little girl, and the reason she's the worst actress is because she's the best actress in this. And the reason why I say that is because everybody in this film either can't act or they don't care at all, except for her. She is acting her ass off in this film. Like, she is like crying when her Transformer buddy dies, and crying so hard she's like shaking, like, no, no! Like, she's throwing herself into it 100%. And because she's the only one actually trying and actually doing a good job in this, I had to look at her and I was like, what the fuck is your problem? Like, it's like looking at a pile of garbage, but there's like one fresh, like, tomato on top of it. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with that tomato? Why did you throw that out with the rest of this trash? And it's like, yeah, it's, you know what it is? It's that old adage about the nail that stands up is the one that gets hammered down. because she's the only good actress who's trying in this entire film, I kind of have to focus on her. It's like, why are you trying in this? This is terrible. This whole film is garbage.
Maybe that's why she's trying. She wants to get into a better
That's what I'm thinking. I think that she looked at this and she was like, you know what? This is my first big budget film. This is my first big thing. I do not want to have my career die in a Transformers film. I'm going to use this as my demo tape. Like this, I am going to go in here, give it everything that I got, so that when I go out for auditions, I can just clip that one scene of me crying. Cut out even like the shot of the Transformer on the other side of it. just when it cuts to the Transformer, it just says scene not available. Then it cuts back to me crying. That's gonna be it. Cause like, yeah, she's actually working her ass off to make this a good performance, and no one else is. So it's weird. But okay, so they arrive there. And then it's revealed that this British lady, who was like a tour guide, whose father studied King Arthur, Anthony Hopkins also kind of kidnapped her with a French robot called Hot Rod. Which, yeah, that would hammer that joke into the ground. And he's got like a time freezing gun, which is kind of a cool thing, I guess. But like, she shows up and he's like, and Anthony Hopkins is like, yes, you've been chosen because you have the seal of the last knight. And your father was part of the royal line of Wickwickens. And I was like, Wickwickens, that sounds like Wickwiki, which was Elijah, not Elijah Wood, but
Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf's character's name in the previous ones. And then it goes, yes, the royal order of the Wickwickens, who are all descendants from Merlin and have the ability to activate the staff that can transfer power to Cybertron. So we had to search to choose you, and like it shows like them all. And
that's a really far stretch. That's a super reach.
Yeah, but then he goes in this room in which it shows every single person that the Transformers have helped and worked with and been part of the Royal Order of Wickwickens over the history of time. Is like Winston Churchill, FDR, Abraham Lincoln, Harriet Tubman, Frederick Douglass.
They're supposed to be all related?
Yeah, that's the feeling you get. And then there's Shia LaBeouf's crazy ass face on the wall. They did remember him at least. They were either related or they were like, they're all part of the same order. And I was like, you do know some of these people like fought each other in wars. Like I'm looking at some of the people lining up on this thing. It's like,
wait a minute.
What's up with this?
Like,
but then they like talking about like the Transformers, they're supposed to have lived here for a long time, but they've lived here in secret. No one knew about this. But then they revealed that like Bumblebee killed Hitler. Like him and a special task force of other Transformers and American and English soldiers went in and they're the ones who actually killed Hitler. And then they're looking at like this wall of like all this like stuff of things that the Transformers have done, and there was like a propaganda poster that said like old World War II like propaganda poster that says like moving forward to victory, and it's got Bumblebee there on it. And it's like, so how the fuck were they a secret if they were on the propaganda posters from World War II? Did you guys commission this just for your own special club? And then you were like, well, we can't show this to anybody else. It looks fucking crazy. We would have to admit there's Transformers. Like, it's frustrating. It really does like make your head spin.
I'm just imagining like because they had to be in secret, like Bumblebee killed Hitler while he was a car, like he just drove him off a cliff or some shit like that.
No, they roll up into Hitler's place, and then it's just roll out. I was like,
wow.
All right, movie, you exhaust me. And
that
so,
sounds like a huge conspiracy. It's like Hitler did not commit suicide. It was robots who killed him.
Can I have a radio show now? I'll take my 2 a.m. radio show right now. Oh my god. Maybe I am hating this film. It's weird. The Mummy, I fucking was enraged at when I got out, but when it came time to actually talk about it, I didn't really have that rage left inside me. This one I was just like,
it's
just like stun songs, and now that I'm talking about it, I'm like, nope, the rage is coming. It's fucking boiling up.
It's like you needed a moment to like process all the butt fuckery that was going on in this movie. Buffering.
But so then they have to go, and so Mark Wahlberg, the British lady, and the C-3PO butler robot, who they get into like car chases trying to go to like the marina to get this sub so that they can then go down to find the ancient Autobot ship where Merlin is buried.
Don't they have a transformer that's a submarine?
Maybe. I don't fucking know. I did expect the sub to turn into a transformer, but no, it didn't.
No.
But so it's like them and Bumblebee's just like riding on top of the sub, like.
You know, for a Transformer movie, it doesn't sound like there's a lot of Transformers.
That's how it always is. But it's not, yeah, but here's the thing. In the other Transformer films, that whole thing of like Decepticon getting a Suicide Squad, the Decepticon Suicide Squad going up against the Autobots and them fighting, that would not have been in there. It would just have been following Mark Wahlberg just doing nothing for a long period of time. So they go down to find this sub. However, I have not even fucking mentioned that, like I said, Optimus Prime, he goes there, lands on Cybertron, this lady god robot corrupts him, and then it starts like moving towards the Earth, like the remains of Cybertron, which it's weird, like just like big like chunks of a planet like separate, but they're all tangled together by one like knot. So it's a bunch of like strings going out and then parts of a planet hanging there. It's a very weird look to it. But like it starts going down, and like the moment it starts approaching, like early in this film, it starts approaching this computer genius guy, this guy working for NASA. He sees this. And he's trying to explain to someone, all right, when this starts approaching, the gravity from it is going to actually destroy the entire plane. And like the guy he's trying to explain to, he's like picking up a toy plane. He's like, can't believe we make these things fly. What are you talking about? This sounds like some kind of a disease. Is it contagious? No? Okay, whatever. It's like, no, listen to me. It's going to kill us all. It's like, that is the perfect metaphor for what this film is. It's trying to have something happen, but it's too fucking distracted by everything around it. And it's like, what's this thing over here? What's going on over here? I'm gonna just walk over here now. What's going on? Hey everybody. Cool. So anywho, what were you saying about Transformers? So, cool. That's what this film is. But anyway, that happens early on. They don't mention Cybertron or that dude at NASA or anything until it gets to that moment when they are going down in the sub to find this ship. Then it's like, oh yeah, shouldn't this be getting fucking close to Earth by now? And then you see it approaching, and like a giant chunk of the planet scrapes part of the moon, and you see the moon being cracked apart. And I was like, that alone would destroy the Earth.
Yeah.
But the Earth would start getting all kinds of fucked up right now, because he even mentioned early on, the gravity from this thing would start ripping the planet apart.
Yeah, if it was close enough to the moon to scrape it, the gravity would probably be...
Even Independence Day Resurgence, remember the gravity from an object that large would fuck up the planet.
Yeah.
That was a major part of that film. They fucking forget that. Because you see this thing approaching, and the Earth is just fine. Earth's just chilling. This whole thing, it's as big as our moon, is touching down on the goddamn planet. It's fine.
Yeah,
Ain't a fucking thing going on here, man.
That reminds me of that Invader Zim episode where he like pilots Mars to like squish everybody on the Earth.
I fucking love that. I love that. Zim's plans are smarter than this film. God, I would have killed for Gurr to pop up in this thing.
He's already in disguise. He has a dog suit.
I'm going to need my squad. Mohawk, Dreadnought, Gurr. Are we gonna go and get tacos? No, Gurr, we're destroying the Autobots. Oh, I like destroying. Yay, I'm gonna be sick. Okay, now I know how to get a dog's attention. Hey, buddy.
Hey, Cosmo, did you have a nice nap?
Yes, okay. Hold on. Just so you guys know. There's Cosmo! Yay! God. This fucking movie. This is gonna be one of the longest one of these videos we've ever had to do. Okay. Okay, where was I? Gurr. Right. So it gets closer, it's scraped up the planet, scraped up the moon, it's getting closer, and then the giant chunks of it start touching down on the planet. It's like, oh my god, it's going to crush it. It basically just does this. It like gently brushes the Earth's hair. It's like, hey girl, hey. You got a real nice rainforest going on today. What are these cumulus clouds doing here? Hold on a second now. Like, yeah, it's the most gentle touchdown you've ever seen. Like, it doesn't do shit. It does something in a second, but the moment it touches down, it doesn't do anything. It's like, so does it have like its own anti-gravity field around it that's keeping the gravity from ripping continents off our planet? Like, why are tidal waves not happening right now? Okay, so that starts touching down. They give the staff to Stonehenge. Optimus Prime is now a good guy. Optimus Prime comes in, gives another speech about, we are going to go and stop this. We will now stand together, Autobots and Earthlings, unlike the previous 4 films, where I also had to give the speech about us standing together. It's like, what is it going to take for you guys to work together? What is it going to fucking take for you guys to not immediately start fighting after the end of the movie where you guys agree to work together? So they go in, they fight against Megatron and his evil robots, and there's a giant, like, demon-looking one that was on Cybertron, and it's like, it seemed like we're supposed to know who he is, but he's never been introduced. I was like, whatever.
I don't know, maybe, like, diehard Transformers fans will, like,
that's the thing, they give them all names, so I'm sure that they're things, but I want to go ahead and make something very clear right now. I have heard numerous, like, big Transformer fans come in and defend these movies and say, yeah, you know, well, they're just good, popcorny fun. You guys have so much higher of a tolerance than I do, because you guys love Transformers, and you give these movies a pass. If someone did to something that I love from my childhood what they did to Transformers in these films, I would throw a fucking trash can through a pizzeria. I would be mad as hell if somebody... Listen, I love Spider-Man. The worst Spider-Man thing I've probably ever seen was, I don't know, Amazing Spider-Man 2, probably. Although I'll admit, when I first walked out of the theater, I was like, yeah, that wasn't that bad. It had its problems, that wasn't that bad. It took me a little time to realize, yeah, that thing fucking sucked. And this is terrible. I don't give it a pass anymore. Like, I'm totally like, no, fuck this thing. Like, you guys have wrecked something that I really enjoyed. They did that for 1 film. They've done this for 5 of yours. How are you giving this a pass still? I do not understand you Transformer fans. But anyway, so they go in, they fight, and there's this big, whatever, they fight each other and shit. But there comes a moment in which they need to stop this staff from sucking the Earth dry. And as they're sucking the Earth dry, the big chunks of Cybertron are forming closer together, and that's when they actually start scraping parts of the planet off. And you'll hear him say things like, all of Berlin is gone, all of Hong Kong is gone, and you'll see like little bits of like, and that's it. Like, this is the one time in which you decide to cut out the massive destruction that you're known for? Whatever, I don't care.
It's like, oh, by the way, all these big cities died and blew up. You know, millions of people...
Off camera.
Yeah, millions of people's lives have been taken. No big deal. Like...
Again, I fucking hated Independence Day Resurgence, but I'll give it this. It showed the cities being destroyed. And this one, it's all... The destruction is what you come to these films for, and it's happening off screen. So, anyway, so yeah, that starts happening, they start getting closer together. And there comes a moment in which that egghead guy from NASA is like, listen, this whole like grab the staff thing, it's superstitious mumbo jumbo. How about we fight with actual physics? If we send our nuclear tactical strike against this little area right here, this little clump, it will then swing down and hit that area where the staff is. We can take it out. And all this thing is like, so you're going to use your tactical nukes to hit this thing so it swings into this thing to destroy it. Why not cut out the middleman and use tactical nukes on this? Like, it makes no sense. And then he does it, and like they were like, we gotta get everybody out. The mission is compromised. We're all going to die if we stay here. Our mission to save the Earth is doomed, and all the soldier guys have to get out there. And I couldn't help but think like that Michael Bay, he is like this outspoken kind of like right-wing guy, and I'm not gonna get into politics, but like the right-wing guys are not the biggest fans of science, and all I could think in that moment was, is this like Michael Bay basically going, fuck you science? Because they do it, it swings in, and it doesn't stop anything. It keeps going, and they failed, and like, we failed, that was our last hope, and they was like, this really does just kind of feel like Michael Bay going, don't trust scientists, kids. Don't use your own gumption and guns. And I was like,
funny, because remembering Independence Day, science actually saved the world.
This film is fucking making one of my worst films of last year better. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I didn't even think about that aspect. Like, yeah, Jesus Christ. All right, so that's happening. They go in. She's able to take the staff out, and then Optimus Prime goes up there to try and stop the God Lady, and she freezes him. And then he's like, say hello to my friend, Bumblebee. And then Bumblebee comes up behind her and shoots her and goes, stings like a bee. And I was like, oh, okay, so that's why he's called Bumblebee. I was like, you know what, out of all the dumb dialogue in this film, that's probably one of the best lines in the whole thing. I'll give you that.
I always thought he was called Bumblebee because he was yellow.
I guess. I guess. Although then again, are there bees on Cybertron? Whatever, it doesn't matter. Okay. But so he comes in, he takes her out by shooting her in the back. Everything is saved. They take out Megatron, is now free again. It's like, just taking Megatron out already. You've fought him for 5 movies now. It's done. It's done. Stop it. You fought him for more movies than the Fantastic Four have fought Doctor Doom in their films, and they've rebooted it twice. So, yeah, it's not good. That's pretty much where it ends. Oh, the little girl comes back at the end when the Autobots get a ship to go out and meet them at Stonehenge. And she tags along. And it's like, why are you even here? She then tells, like, they're being attacked by this gun. And the gun is keeping them from approaching. It's not a big gun at all. It's like a kind of a tiny gun to stop Autobots. But it's like keeping them from getting close enough to get the staff. And she's like, you have to go and stop that bomb. She tells her little BB-8 robot, you have to go and stop it. You have to go and save it. Go and do it. And you see him like creeping around, like trying to avoid all the big battles. And it's like, and then he gets in there and he shoots the gun with this like Decepticon arm that they gave him in the beginning of the film because his regular arm fell off. He shoots that thing. It blows up. But he does that after they're told they have to leave because the tactical nuke strike is coming in. And I was just like, well, then what the fuck does it matter if you take out that gun? Because you can't go in there anyways. And then so after that, she's saying like, yeah, and they're shooting her like, she did it. See, she contributed. I was like, no, she didn't. That little robot did. She just told him, do it. And I was like, Mark Wahlberg could have done it too. The British lady could have done it too. Anthony Hopkins could have done it. Except that Anthony Hopkins is dead at this point in the film because Megatron shoots him. And the thing is, Megatron, like, he goes in there with a cane, and the cane's revealed to be a transformer. It transforms into a gun, and he starts shooting at Megatron when he's about to slam the staff down. And then, like, that's when he just stalls him for a second, and then the army shows up and starts shooting him to keep him from planting this thing down. And then Megatron aims the gun right at his gun right at his face, and goes, puny earthlings, die, or something like that.
And Anthony Hopkins, die, puny earthlings.
But the thing is, Anthony Hopkins is looking right up at him, and then Anthony Hopkins looks over like, oh, what's going on over here? And that's when he goes, die! Earthling's like, you just turn your head away from the giant evil robot as it's pointing the gun at you? You're lame. You suck at your job. And then as he's dying, his English butler robot just goes, sir, out of all the people I've had the duty of serving over these years, you have been the coolest. And like, that's a huge problem with the writing of this film. The writing in this film feels like it was just written by the biggest group of dude bros you can imagine. Like, the writing in this film feels like a dumb guy thinking he's writing good stuff. And I realized this early on, because at the beginning of this film, like, when Mark Wahlberg's getting, like, this Venom symbiote, which, by the way, that turns into the giant sword, and then when he gets that, like, all the night robots are like, we pledge your allegiance to you. So I'm like, okay, I guess that's Excalibur. So
okay.
Like, yeah, okay. So I want to make sure I brought that up. That's how Excalibur comes into this. Maybe, kind of, sort of. I don't know. But when that happens, it then cuts to Sir Anthony Hopkins over in London, and the butler robot goes, sir, that weird thing we've been waiting for is finally happening. I'm like, weird thing? That's the best you got. That's the best you got. That weird thing we've been waiting for is happening. And that's the dialogue throughout all this. The dialogue in this, it literally sounds like someone took the actual dialogue, took it out, and then had like the riff tracks guys replace it with dialogue. Like, if you've ever seen the YouTube channel Bad Lip Reading, it's a really impressive lip channel. Like, they come in and they come up with bad, like, inaccurate things for people to say in films that's not the actual thing they're saying, but it matches up perfectly with the way their lips are moving. That's what all the dialogue is like in this film, because it's really stupid dialogue, but it matches what their lips are doing. I'm like, it's the only explanation for this. So all the dialogue is either just really bad, just really, really bad dialogue. I mean, like, there's a moment in which they are having a car chase through London, and like it cuts to Anthony Hopkins and his butler in the car, and they're like swaying, like, and the robot is going, "Move, bitch, get out the way. Move, bitch, get out the way." And I'm like, it's one of the biggest problems with Michael Bay. Michael Bay wants to be a badass motherfucker, like Michael Bay wants to be a cool gangster thug. He wants to be the baddest mofo out there. But he's lame, so all of his references are 2 decades old. Like, maybe not 2 decades, but it's like all of his references are at least over a decade old. Like, he clearly loves hip hop, but hasn't listened to any in 15 years. And it's like, dude, you're the lamest motherfucker in this whole film. And you're not even in the film, but your flavor is all throughout it.
Funny how he likes hip hop, yet he's
super racist?
Yeah.
That's the thing. I think that because he is a guy who wants to be like the cool, badass gangster guy so bad, I think it makes him think he has permission to do it.
Oh, no,
it's like,
no. Bad.
That doesn't work for Quentin Tarantino. It's not going to work for you.
No.
Alright. But yeah, so it's the kind of thing where it's like, dude, if I was watching this on mute with the riff tracks guys on there and they start going, "Move, bitch, get out the way," I'd be like, well, that makes sense, because clearly they would not say that in the actual film. But it's in the actual film. I don't know how the riff tracks guys can do this one, because it's like, what are you going to riff? There's not a moment of silence for you to talk over. Things are constantly happening, and all the dialogue is worse than any joke you can make. But it's like, so it's either that, all the dialogue is either that, or it's just them saying the exact thing that is happening, which makes me realize this is a film much like The Mummy. Because the big problem with The Mummy is that so much of that film was them just stopping to explain the exact thing that was happening, and then stopping again to explain the exact thing that they just explained over again a moment ago. And like, the reason they're doing that is because they know it's not going to succeed in America, so they want it to succeed in the foreign market. And they have to re-explain it, because they realize in another language they're not going to quite understand this. They need to be said many times, especially, you know, if you're reading it in subtitles, or they don't even have subtitles but your English isn't that good, you need it to be explained multiple times. So there are so many times in which, like, someone is just like, "I'm doing this thing now," and it's like, yeah, I know. I know that. Like, there's a moment in which, like, after Optimus Prime has turned good again, then all of a sudden the 12 robot knights reappear and they start beating the crap out of him, and he just stops and goes, "The Autobot knights are going to kill me." And then it's like, yeah, we know. I'm watching the same movie. Or there's a moment in which, like, this Autobot that's voiced by John Goodman, which is, again, it's one of those things which, like, I was looking at this guy, I was like, in a better movie, this would be a cool robot, because he's like a big, like, old, fat general guy. He's got, like, the army helmet on. He's got a cigar out at all times. And he's, like, the perfect character for John Goodman to play. He's like, "Hey, listen up here. I love the smell of napalm in the morning." Like, he does that incredibly well. And there is a moment in which he's fighting Megatron, and he pulls out his Gatling gun and starts firing directly at his face. Like, his face is right here, and just goes, "I'm gonna shoot you in the face." And I was like, yeah, I know. I fucking know. I'm just looking at it. Here, it's happening. It's like, yeah, it's so, oh my god. It's stuff like that all throughout this film. This is as I said, there's 2 areas where this film is better than any of the other Transformer films, where it is in fact an improvement over the previous Transformer films. However, the editing and the dialogue is easily the worst out of any of them. And I'm including the second one on that. Like, editing, it's easily the worst. I think I said the best 5 seconds ago. Correct me on that. No. When it comes to the editing, it's easily the worst out of any. But the second one, which had absolute garbage dialogue because it literally did not have a script because it was made during the writer's strike. So there literally was not a script for that. This one has a script. It's still, the dialogue is still probably worse. Like, it's been a while since I saw that second one, but I was like, this might be worse than the film that didn't have a script. That is shocking. That is stunning. But I haven't even gotten into, I'm almost done talking about it. But I have not even gotten into, there are these weird spikes coming out of the earth. And I watched this whole film. I did not leave to go to the bathroom. I didn't leave to get food. I do not remember when these spikes just suddenly popped up on the planet. I don't remember when it became a thing at all in this film.
Do they serve a purpose?
Yes, they do. But I literally, like I said, I never saw the fourth one, but I had to ask one of my coworkers today who had seen the fourth one, did they come out in that one? And he went, no, they arrived in this one. I was like, I don't remember. And I was like, yeah, it happened, but it wasn't noticeable. And I was like, okay, but there's these giant spikes that come out of the Earth. It's revealed that Earth is Unicron.
What?
You know Unicron.
Yeah, I know.
The Galactus robot. Yeah, the one that's the size of an entire planet. That was the big villain from the previous ones, and it's like the one villain people have been waiting for. Like, oh, how are they going to do that? Earth is Unicron. That's why they needed to suck the life force out of Unicron to get it into Cybertron, but then that would destroy the planet. But there's these giant spikes, and it's like, and not Stanley Tucci, but I can't remember his name, but that John Turturro, who was like the secret agent guy from the first like 2-3 films. Mm-hmm. In this one, it shows that he is living in secret in Cuba, which oddly enough is like the one place on the planet where they haven't outlawed Autobots. Like, Autobots live peacefully with humans there. I thought that kind of weird. I thought kind of weird that they picked humans. I was like, all right, cool, whatever. But he's living there, and there's like 2 or 3 jokes in here that kind of got a grin out of me. Not big ones, but like, kind of like, that's nice. And one of them is that there's a robot down there that constantly just wants to play soccer, or no, volleyball with, I forgot his name already, but John Turturro constantly wants to play it with him, but he's constantly on the phone talking to Anthony Hopkins' character, trying to give him information and trying to get him to find this. And I'll admit, John Turturro, he's goofy in this one, but he's not nearly as goofy or bad as he was in the previous one. Like, at no point does he lose his pants in this one. So I'm like, okay. But there's a moment when he's on a payphone trying to talk to him, and the robot's just like, come on, man, let's go down to the beach. We're going to go and play volleyball. And he goes, come on, just give me 5 minutes. And this giant robot just goes, oh, you always say 5 minutes. That means no. And I was like, that's kind of funny. All right, I'll give you that
Now I want to see robots playing volleyball a la Top Gun.
Just in slow motion. Oh, then they transform into the jets from Top Gun.
Yeah! We're coming up with so many better movie ideas when we're going through
Fuck this movie. But so yeah, he's in this thing trying to give him information, and then he goes, those giant spikes, it seems like their pattern doesn't make any sense at all. But that's because they've been here forever. Back when the continents were different. They didn't get into weird positions because of the Earth. Because they just have me weird positions. That was time and the Earth doing it. Pangea, the original continent. And then they like form the continents together, and they form all the spikes together. It's like it forms a giant circle, and then there in the center of the circle is Stonehenge. And I was like, those spikes still just aren't really in any particular. One of them's still in the middle of the ocean. It doesn't really. There's no real reason for them to be where they are, but whatever. I was like, but okay, so the spikes are
the spikes connected to Unicron?
Apparently they're like Unicron's head, like the spikes coming out of his head or something.
And the spikes have like stayed, but the continents have moved?
Yeah, but then they moved with the continents. So wouldn't his head have been split open like a melon?
Like ah!
You didn't even see this, but that's the exact question I had. It's like, then what do we have to worry about fucking Unicron for? Like, even if the spikes were like on his back or something, his back has ripped open from the continent shifting his back into different places. Like, this makes no fucking sense at all. It's like, maybe the continents move because they're in the middle of transforming or something. It's like, I don't fucking know.
Like, it took Unicron, like, it's taking Unicron, like, millions of years to, like, transform from a planet to a robot? Is that it?
Then we're probably fine. I think we'll all be long dead before he actually finishes this.
Well, we don't know how long the robots are gonna live, so...
They have their own planet. Like, wait till the humans die, then suck the plant and energy out of it and reform the planet. And this whole film ends with Optimus then standing on the top of a hill overlooking what they just did with the other Autobots and then making a speech of, "This is Optimus Prime, calling out to all Autobots. The Earth needs our protection and we will fight outside the humans." It's like, this is literally the speech you make at the end of every one of these fucking movies. You literally do this at the end of every film. At the end of every goddamn film, you go, "We will now work with the humans." And then at the beginning of the next movie, the humans do not trust the Autobots. I'm like, fuck it, I don't give a shit. None of this means anything because it's not going to matter because it's the exact way that every single one of these other films have ended, and you're just going to go back to it at the beginning again. Fuck, how do people not see this happening yet? God, this really, like, I was not mad at this film because it was just fascinating that something like this could happen. It was fascinating that I could just sit here and be like, how? How is the editing this bad? How is the writing this bad? How does the story not make any sense? How is it not, how is it going against everything else you've already established in your previous films? Like, how is this not lining up at freaking all? I just kept asking those questions. I was just like, wow. This is stuff. Like, I turned into Spock. Like, I went full Spock on this thing. Like, fascinating. Indeed. Highly illogical. Like, but now that I'm, like, actually, like, laying it all out, wow. Yeah, I was like, I might have to put The Mummy higher on my worst of the year list than this, simply because even though this is a worse film, The Mummy made me angrier. But now that I'm actually recounting this experience, no, this made me way angrier. This is horrible. And they've got 19 more of these fucking things planned. And they're making a cinematic universe with all the other Hasbro toys. And
so wait, does that mean the Battleship movie's gonna be like canon with this?
No, that's Mattel. That's Mattel.
Oh, okay.
Yes. No. That cinematic universe sank already. Although it does mean G.I. Joe. It means Mask. They want Mask to be in there. It means Action Man. It means
My Little Pony. It is Hasbro.
I was going to say Jim. But no, they're not doing My Little Pony, because that's actually successful on its own without being Yeah, there's a poster up at the Regal that I went to for a My Little Ponies movie coming in like 2 months, and I'm like, kind of shocked I haven't heard about this. Kind of glad I haven't either. But, that's one of those weird things, like now that I do this and I have to review something every single week, the moment I saw that poster I was like, what else is coming out that weekend? Give me something else I can review that weekend. Then again, I could take you and you could review it because you actually like those. So it's like, all right, fine, whatever. Can't be worse than this, by the way. Can't be. But like, yeah, I'm trying to think of all the Hasbro things. And like, you fucked up Jim and the Holograms so bad, it would fit perfectly in here with this Transformers universe.
Yeah, spoiler alert, Synergy is a Transformer.
No, Synergy is BB-8. We already saw that film. Everything is fucking BB-8. Every tiny toy, they need to make sure it can be BB-8. God, Synergy was so fucking lame in that film.
It was.
We weren't even doing the post Geekout reactions when we saw that film, and I feel kind of bad that we never got to talk about it. We never actually got to do a review. No, I did do a review.
You did the review, but we did not do a post Geekout
reaction. Okay. But yeah, there came a moment in here. And this is the thing that made me like really hate this. I don't remember the exact moment. It might have been when they talked about Unicron. I think that was it. Like when they mentioned Unicron and made me realize, okay, they've got future stuff planned for this. I just had a simple thought. Can you imagine good Transformer movies? And I'm not talking like, I know people are going to say, oh, they already made, it was the animated one back in the day. It's like, no. I mean, think about what like the Marvel Cinematic Universe has done. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine someone with that level of love and care and knowledge of the source material and passion for the source material and vision for like an actual franchise.
And knowledge on how to make a good movie.
Yeah, and that level of filmmaking skill.
Yes.
Actually came in here and went, yeah, we're going to make Transformer films now. Can you imagine if we got good Transformer films? And the moment I thought about that, it just made me sad.
Yeah.
It just made me sad that I was like, wow, this is such a wonderful, untapped resource. And you guys are flushing it down the drain. And you're going to keep making enough money off this thing that it will never matter. No one will be able to ever stop you on this, because even if this thing tanked here in America, which it's not going to, but even if it tanked here in America, it's going to make its money back in China and Korea and Russia and the rest of the world. It's already going to do that. It doesn't matter. So it's like, it made me so sad, because it made me realize all those people out there who do have love, excuse me, I'm getting the hiccups, I'm getting so upset. All those people who do have like genuine love for the Transformer franchise, they will never get that thing. They will never get what I, as a Marvel fan, have been able to experience. They will never get what a Wonder Woman fan was able to experience just a couple weeks ago. They will never get that. They will never get what Star Wars fans got, you know, in the last 2 years. They're gonna be stuck with prequel level shit for the rest of their life. It just made me angry for you guys. I'm not even one of you, but it just made me angry on your behalf. But like I said, I still hear so many Transformer fans defend it, and I'm sure there are other ones out there who don't defend it, who do feel this level of anger that I'm feeling, and they hate those Transformer fans who defend this shit. And all I can think is those Transformer fans who do defend it, think about when you were a kid, and think about what you loved about this, and think about when you grew up loving this thing and hoping that one day you would get that big, massive film out. Has any of the shit that you've seen matched anything you wanted? Can you cross, aside from the original voice of Optimus Prime, does anything match up with what you could possibly have wanted? I guarantee you the answer is no. You deserve so much better than what you have gotten. And I feel bad for you. I feel so bad that you're not gonna get it, because the rest of the world will just keep paying to see this shit. So let me know what you guys thought about this. This is the most passionate I've ever gotten about one of these. So let me know in the comments down below what you guys thought of this film, or the previous films, or whatever. I don't care. Don't go and see this film. Sneak in to see this film. Tell you what, buy a ticket to another film that starts half an hour after this one does, and it lasts for an hour and a half. Go in there, the moment that you see Optimus Prime crash land down on Cybertron, leave, go to your movie, be there for an hour and a half, watch the credits, then go back to this one. You will be there for when Optimus reappears. Alright? There you go. And then let me know what you thought about it in the comments down below, or contact me on Twitter and Tumblr at Professor Thorgy. Remember, we are going to have the official review coming up in a few days. I'm so tired. My voice is dry right now. I sound like Optimus Prime. Alright. Okay. But thank you guys. Man, this has been a rough summer. God, let that Spider-Man film be good. Let it be good. I'm not going to be able to deal with that one as bad. Thank you guys. Night.
Bye.